So I just got back from the Twist Festival. It was on today, August 17th, and I'm thinking that yarn festival shopping should be considered an Olympic sport. Before I went, I had at least 4 costume changes because you have to decide what you're going to wear before you go to one of these things. And you want to wear one of your handmade items. So I wore my crochet top that I talk about in my previous crochet episode. But back to the Olympic sport conversation. Today, I must have walked at least 10 miles. I have stretched, bent down, done squats, dodged to the side, dodged to the right, dodged to the left, probably skipped around a few people, and there may have been a point in time where I did a little bit of running. So I think I've done my exercise for today, but I'm going to show you some yarn and I'm going to talk about the festival. So stay tuned. I hope you enjoy it. Hi, I'm Margaret, and this is my wonderful knitting life. This is my YouTube channel, and today I'm going to do a special episode about the Yarn Festival, which is called the Twist Fibre Festival, and it takes place in Quebec, Canada, in a little town called Saint-André-Avalin, and it is about an hour and 20 minutes, maybe an hour 30 minutes outside of downtown Ottawa. There was a lot of construction, so it might have taken us a little bit longer to get there today. I went with 2 friends and we carpooled, which was wonderful because I wasn't driving. I got to sit in the back seat and work on my night shift shawl, so that was a real treat. It's really well organized. When we arrived, there were ushers for the parking, and we only had to pay $5 for the parking, so that didn't break the bank. And it is $15 to get one of these bracelets to go in on a Friday or the Sunday. And today is the Friday, the 11th. So I went on the very first day that it opened, and we were there pretty much at the opening time of 11 o'clock. I think it ran until 6 o'clock today. And it's about $20. Yep, I think it's $20 to get in on the Saturday, which I think is their busiest day. So we went last year, and this year was pretty much set up the same way, where you can prepay and show them your phone or your printout, or you can pay on the spot. And the pay on the spot actually was a very short line to get in. So that was really simple. And when you enter, there is a tent outside that has all kinds of artisans, mostly fiber, that are new to being artists or the fiber world. So this tent basically has the newbies, and it was a marvelous selection of different types of art. But the one booth that really caught my attention was the booth with the, I think it's called origami, the crocheting of little animals and people, and I took a lot of pictures, and I'm going to share those because I was quite taken with them. All of them are made out of a high-end cotton yarn, which the gentleman told me quite a bit about, and just phenomenal. I'm sure that they take hours to make, and they had so many there for sale, as well as their cotton. And I'm not sure if there were patterns for sale as well, but I was really interested in that. So I'll include a lot of pictures from that site. Then when you go into what looks to be like an arena and maybe a community center, there's 2 really large rooms set up with many, many booths. And there are more than just yarns there. I saw embroidery, quilting, weaving. Shampoo was there, and Shampoo makes a circular sock machine. They are a Quebec company. I believe that they're one of the most well-reputed sock machines. I have an 𝐅𝐈𝐁𝐷𝐿 sock machine, which is from the United States. And right beside their booth, I met a lady. Her name was Chantal Valencourt. And there's two names here, Sylvie Desjardins. I'm not sure which lady I talked to, but the woman who was there, her booth was just filled with handmade socks from the circular sock machine. And I talked to her for quite a while. She is not that far outside of Ottawa. And she told me next summer when I'm back to get in touch with her and we would be able to get together and she could possibly show me some of her little tips and tricks about making toes and heels, which I'm not that experienced with yet, and I need to learn more about it. So I'm really excited about that. I'll put her information down below in the show notes as well. And I'll add a couple of pictures in of her socks. I took a lot of pictures of yarn, but also of all the wonderful samples that were up on the walls. There were many, many shawls up on the walls to take a look at and draw inspiration from. And there were also a lot of booths that had shawls and clothing that you could try on. And then they would have the yarn there that you could make those same garments with. It can be a little bit overwhelming and you want to buy all the things. There's no doubt about that. So this year, having had the experience from last year, what I did was I brought cash and I had a set amount of cash and I did not use my credit card. I just basically used that and I actually didn't use it all. So that was a good thing because I do have an awful lot of yarn already in my stash. But I was looking for some specific things. Twist has a website that is up a good couple of months with all the list of the vendors on it before the actual Fibre Festival happens. So I've been spending quite a bit of time going on that site and taking a good look at all of the vendors. And if you click on the vendors, it leads to their shop. So you have a really good idea of what's there. So I browsed a lot, but I had also heard of a store called Bar à Tricot. And I heard about them from Noelle and Kelly of the podcast Knits in Pieces. They are wonderful and avid knitters, prolific knitters, and they went to a fiber festival, and that's where they were introduced to the line of champagne that this Bar à Tricot puts on. And that was one of my goals, was to check that out. I had seen online that there was going to be a booth that not only had yarn, but also had soap, shampoo bars, and conditioner bars. And I use shampoo and conditioner bars all the time. I don't use commercial products because I have really bad allergies. So that was something on my list to take a look at. And I also wanted to see if I could find any yarn to try that would be more of a summer yarn, something maybe with a little bit of linen in it, but not too much because 100% linen is really hard on the hands. So I did meet those goals, but I will show you the yarn that I purchased after I show you some of the pictures that I took at the Fibre Festival. So I hope you enjoy these and stay tuned to the end to see what I purchased. And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. All right, enjoy all the pictures. bit of yarn at the Fibre Festival. Not too much, just a little bit. So I went in the first room, and one of the first booths that I found was A Tricot. So I stopped there and I had a good look around. All of their bases were just fantastic. But I specifically wanted to check out their champagne line, and I did bring a couple of those home. So this is let me see if I can get maybe not too bright so you can see it. This is the A Tricot champagne yarn, and this is a luxurious mix of 70% silk, 20% mohair, and 10% nylon. And it's crinkly, but when you knit it, the crinkles disappear. And I'm not sure if you can see the wonderful halo that's there from the mohair, but I picked this one skein up. I love purple. I'm really into a lot of colors, and this one spoke to me. It's got purple with a hint of pink in it. And I also got a second one that has this blue, teal, this pop of orange, yellow, and the cream at the bottom. And my intention for these is to be putting them into the colorwork of Yoked Colorwork Sweaters. Noelle of Knits and Pieces podcast has done this, and the effect is really, really beautiful. She used one of the A Tricot for the Alpine Bloom sweater that is new on the market, and it's gorgeous. So that's one of the things I think I might try to do is the color work. So that was the first booth that I went to, and I believe A Tricot is an online store. So if you're interested in checking this out, you shouldn't have any trouble finding this yarn. So the second place I went, which was on my shopping list, was the store Mouflon. And there I found a shampoo bar. They had 3 different kinds, one for dry hair, one for normal, and one for a more oily hair. This one is for the dry hair. My hair's naturally curly, so it does tend to be very dry. So I picked that up, and I also got a conditioner, which is also a very, like a deep conditioner. So they have the citrus smell, and I'm really excited to give those a try. So I'll put that in the show notes as well. That is the Mouflon Ferme or Farm. So I did an awful lot of browsing. I was still in the first room, and I happened across a stall that I had never heard of before. The Umalf, Une Maille à la fois. And I'd never heard of this before. This one is new to me, and their colors were really stunning. And I walked around and I walked around, and 2 things caught my eye. The first one was this shawl kit. And I just really love this combination of colors, the pink, the coral, and the speckled one in the middle that kind of brings them all together. I thought that was just really super beautiful. And we don't usually comment on prices on podcasts, but their prices were really fair. More than fair, I would say, for all of their hand-dyed products. And while I was there, browsing around and doing all my reaching and bending and stretching and all of those things that made me really exhausted by the end of the day, they had a basket on the floor. I'm not sure why these things were on sale, because they also had some on the wall. So maybe it was colors they weren't making anymore. But I found this base in the little basket, and this is a 70% bamboo, 30% linen. And it was, let me see, yep, it's got 400 meters in it. And these were in the $15 basket on the floor, the ones with the little X. So I talked to her about, I want to make a summer striped sweater. And I started pulling all the colors out that I really liked. And I said, you know, how many do you think I would need? And she said, oh, maybe 3 for your size. And I said, yeah, but I don't want it cropped. So she said, oh, definitely go for 4 then. So I picked up these 4 beautiful skeins, and I'm absolutely in love with them. So pretty happy with those purchases. So at that time, I thought I better check my phone and see where my friends are at, because we split up long ago. You got to split up at these things because it's very difficult to stay with somebody while you're going through all of these booths. And at that point, it was 12:50, and they said, oh, we're going to meet for lunch. So I said, okay, I'll meet you there. So I'd only seen the first room, and I dashed out, joined them for lunch. The lines were kind of long, so I just grabbed a muffin, and then we had planned to leave at 2 o'clock because it was quite a distance back, and I really did only get home by 5:30. So we said, okay, we're going to finish at 2 o'clock and we'll meet at the car. So I had to dash to the second room, which I really hadn't had much of a chance to look at, and get through that space. And I really wanted to enjoy it. And one of the things that I love about these stalls that the hand dyers do is they organize the walls of yarn so that families of colors are together, but not only families of colors, but they'll also have like I found one combination that I just adored. It was a chocolate brown, a raspberry color, and then a speckle in the middle with cream base, and then a speckles of the 2 colors. And you just couldn't help but be drawn into these things because sometimes the planning of the colors is not easy. So it was just fabulous. But I do, again, have quite a bit of yarn at home. So what I started doing was taking some pictures of color combinations that I liked. If I can't find that in my stash and I'm still interested in it later, I can always shop online at these stores. So there's always that option. If you don't want to break the bank, you can take some pictures, think about it, take a look at those color combinations, see if they're in your stash, and go from there. But I did make one last purchase, and that was at the Earth Yarns, that's URTH stall. And they had some beautiful projects, some that are pretty new on the market. And I just finished my positive vibration shawl out of their yarn, which is absolutely gorgeous. And I will do a podcast about that shawl now that it's finished, but I'll keep it separate from this one. This one's all about twist. But as I was browsing that and looking at my watch, and I only had 10 minutes left, he said, well, have you seen this line? He said, it's not in the stores yet. It's only here. We're kind of trying it out at Twist and seeing if people are interested in it. And it's only $15 a skein with the tax included. And he said, when it hits the stores, it's going to be a minimum of $25 or $30 maybe. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to try that. I'm going to be able to use it. So I picked out 2. So this is called the Nokta-Gusto Wool, and it is a base of 80% merino and 20% nylon. So it could be used for socks. So that's my first skein. It's full of those teals and lots of speckles and lots of other colors. We've got the dark blue, we've got some pink, we've got some yellow, all sorts of colors in there. And I picked up a second one because I had been looking for some pinks as well. And this one's a little bit quieter, but it's got a base of a pale pink, and it's got some oranges and speckles of black and quite a lot of other interests in there, which make that really fun to play with and play with putting it with other colors. So that is what I picked up. I definitely could have picked up a lot more, but there's always next year. And I do have lots of photos for inspiration, and I did definitely take down the information of the stalls, information that I didn't buy from, but I thought maybe I would like something in the future. So I'm exhausted. I'm going to go put my feet up, maybe do a little bit of knitting and dreaming about what I'm going to make with all of this. And I would encourage you to take a look at the Twist Festival if you're anywhere nearby. It was a wonderful day out with friends. I met new friends and I couldn't be happier. It was one of my best days this summer. So if you have enjoyed my content, don't forget to like and subscribe and check out my other videos. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Il y a vraiment une position qui va marcher, il est vraiment concentré, c'est vraiment des belles positions, puis vraiment plus particulières à cette race-là, je dirais. Une chose aussi, d'aller utiliser le sifflet, j'y travaille, mais donc on va utiliser le sifflet parce que sinon on va dire que dans le sifflet, il n'y a pas d'émotion. C'est sûr qu'on peut siffler un peu plus fort, un peu moins fort, mais dans le sifflet, il y a moins d'émotion qu'avec la voix. Donc ça va amener une commande qui est plus claire. Et aussi, ben, quand on parle avec, parce que là on est quand même relativement petit comme espace, mais quand on